asked to explain how the graph of the function f of x equals 1 over the quantity x minus 6 squared can be obtained from the graph of y equals 1 over x squared. The graphing calculator can be really useful when learning about translations and shifts and shrinking and stretching and all that, because you can quickly get an idea of what's happening. So, for instance, and I'm going to quit out of here for a minute. When I want to do this, I'm going to first graph my original function. So say that I couldn't remember what this looks like. I'm going to do 1 divided by, and now you don't necessarily need the parentheses here, but I like to put them in because when I do get to the x minus 6, I need them as just habit, and I'm going to graph. So I can see this is my base graph, and this gives me an idea. You can see it's centered right here. We've got a vertical and horizontal asymptotes at 0 and 0. And I've got mine coming each way. They're both on the top. Now, what's going to happen as I move negative 6? What's this going to do? Well, as I come in here, I can come down 1, and I can do 1 divided by x. No, not that one. I need the x first. X minus 6, parentheses, there we go. And so now I have my next graph, and I can look at this and I can compare them to see, and I can see, oh, we've just moved it to the right, because remember, vertical and horizontal inside the function go left to right, and they go in the opposite direction of the sign. By the same token, it would be easy for me to go here and go, hey, what would happen if I did 1 plus x squared minus 6. Well, what happens there? Actually, I'm going to go smaller because I want to be able to see it a little bit easier. Minus 2. We can see this would move it down because that's a vertical or horizontal. And again, I can continue to play with this, and I can easily see which each are going to look like. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn off the two I've been playing with, these two. You can see I just clicked on the equal sign, and now they're not blackened, so they're not going to graph it. So now of the 3 graphs I've got saved in there, I'm only going to get the one I want to work with. I like this ability to turn on and off them so I can work with the different ones and see where it's going to go. That's what your graphing calculator is useful here, is as you're learning these, play with them and see what it does. How can I move it? What does it do? The book's going to tell you what it does, but it's so much better when you can see it, and that's where this really shines, the quickness of being able to go through these. So now that I've got my graph, you can see that to obtain our graph from this, I am going to shift this to the right, to the positive direction, 6 units. And I can see that reflected in my graph, and it goes along with what I've learned about my translations. Now again, I can look for the one that matches the graph I have, and I can see A here matches the graph that came up on my calculator. Now I need the domain and range. So again, I can look here and I can see, okay, the domain, which is the x values. What I've got is I've got a vertical asymptote here at 6. So this is going to start at negative infinity, go to 6, but then it's going to skip 6. So I'm going to use this or, and then keep going. So just pretty much I'm writing that what this really says is skip 6. The rest is okay, skip 6. And then the last one, as I look at this, I can see here I've got a horizontal asymptote at 0. This is never going to actually get to 0, so I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to positive infinity. I go up, but I can't go down. And so as you get used to working with these, a great way to really get a feel for what's happening with all these shifts and translations and all this shrinking, all these things that the book's talking about, get your graphing calculator out and try each different way. See what each one does and how it changes it.